Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an impromptu live streamed episode of the Gate 7 International Podcast, episode 75. Come a long way. Pumped, got a lot of stuff to get into, so we're just going to jump right into it. First, obviously, we got to start with the housekeeping. Always have some housekeeping. First thing we wanted to say is that the Olympiakos DC Academy, another game coming up on Saturday. The boys are fighting back after a 3-0 loss last weekend, hoping that we can change some things up. They're going to be playing against AC Commonwealth. It'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link will go up on our socials like it always does. And we will also send the link to the Olympiakos DC site. If you want to catch the old games that you missed to see what's going on, who the future youth product is, you can go to the olympiakosdc.com site, go to the UPSL tab, and all the recorded streams from the old sites are there. So we look forward to watching with you this coming Saturday. And as always, thank you to our sponsor, Piraeus International. Piraeus International has been helping Greeks ship to and from the motherland during COVID-19. Shipments to Greece are going out from Baltimore, Maryland every month. Fill any large U-Haul box, 18 by 18 by 24. Send it to our friends in Baltimore, and it will be shipped to the port of Piraeus for only $50. Better yet, fill any large wardrobe box and send it for $100. Give them a call at 410-675-4696 or send an email to sales@piraeusintl.com. Thank you again, Piraeus, for being our sponsor.
And with that, everyone, and there's few people watching live. I'm like actually very surprised that there's people watching live. Thank you guys. Drop a comment if you're here live. Anyway, so we have news, and I think the biggest news from our point of view, Olympiakos' point of view, is this Siovas interview that's dropped recently on Sport 24 with Pantelis Diamantopoulos, and it was really interesting. And I kind of want to just highlight a few comments that he made that I found interesting. I did a bit of a translation and kind of just put the comments together. So he said that the backroom staff didn't want Siovas, him, or Fortounis to become the captain, as they were worried that they would become too influential and would kind of make a call to have some of the old players come back, such as Manolas, Sokratis, κτλ. And he made a statement that he felt like there were plans organized to get rid of certain players, such as him and Fortounis. Like, he almost felt like they were stepping on, like, my reading of it, this is not what he said, like it was a bit of a minefield, you know, like if they said a comment or mentioned a name, they would be thrown out of the national team. And another comment that was very interesting was that John Van Schip, after he made the comments, Siovas made the comments to Open TV, blah, 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 didn't really say anything bad about him. He was just like, okay. And then he left for Spain and nothing bad happened and everyone thought everything was good. That was until he heard that he went on Open TV and basically slandered him and said he was kicked off the team. And this hit a point that Siovas hit even larger. That was just JVS has mistreated a lot of the people, whether like they don't deserve to be on the team or they do. Like, the players have just been treated in a poor manner and just like not as people, almost just like not in a respectful manner. He kind of made clear, like, if I'm not on the team, tell me I'm not on the team, but like show me respect and don't act like I'm a child. Finally, he made a note about returning to Olympiakos. He wants to return with Kostas Manolas. He said he wants to throw the 5th star onto our jersey. So that is just 4 more titles away. I would love to see it, guys. And that's it.
Can he last that long? Is he going to last long enough to give us that 5th star?
In the Avram role, I don't know. But what do you think about those comments about JVS, and especially, I don't know, did you watch the whole interview? What did you think about it?
I watched the bits and pieces, the important parts at least, and let me tell you, it doesn't surprise me. The more I hear about JVS, the more of a coward he sounds like, the more of a piece of shit he sounds like. I'm sorry. And maybe it's not entirely his fault. Maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit more coming further up, but he's always appeared spineless to me. And the more I hear about him and the more I hear from him, honestly, the less I can root for him. I will always root for Greece in the national team, but JVS continues to rub me the wrong way. And it just becomes clearer and clearer that he has had an agenda against certain players. and that there has been something, because a lot of it doesn't make any sense. And he tries to tiptoe between this line of, oh, I don't like you, but the doors are still open. And to hear, and I believe 100% that he said nothing to Siovas before that interview. I believe it 100%. I'm sorry. JVS has done nothing to make me trust him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I know I was probably the only person on the podcast that said, I think I was the only person that said I wasn't ready to fire JVS yet. And and I'm not, but I just disagree with every part of his management decision. I don't think he's a good coach. He's not a game manager. He doesn't adjust tactics. And I know people are excited for some of these friendlies coming up. I'm not, because you know what we're going to see? We're going to see something really cool. I bet you we're going to see something really fun and really cool. All so that he doesn't do it when it counts, because he's going to trust losers like Limnio and Bakasetas, Stafilidis, Tsavelas. Tsavelas is actually having a decent season in Turkey, but he's still a loser to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I watched the whole interview. Like, I sat through an hour and 28 minutes of it as I was doing readings for class. And the biggest thing that hit me was just like, this was such an honest interview. It was really not really bullshit. He was super open, and it just, the disrespect on a human level. And the one comment he made, and that I highlighted, about almost like traps being set up for certain players, such as Fortuny, such as Siovas. I want to go back to when JVS was making those comments about Fortunis, unprovoked, in the media, just once Fortunis is not fit, he needs to play for Olympiakos, he does nothing. And if you guys remember back those times, Fortunis kept being asked about that. What do you think of JVS's comments? Almost they wanted him to say, I don't believe him, or I don't trust him, or, something. These were comments that he was making to the media that were almost just I'm trying to provoke a response out of Fortuny so I can kick him off the national team like I've done with the others. And I would not be surprised if that was the idea. And one of the more disgusting things that really pissed me off too, I didn't mention in this little summary, was the backroom staff. And I've taken so much criticism for not being on board with the national team in this project. And the thing is, they're just spineless. And some of those people behind the scenes, the Greek ones, one or two from Euro 2004, it has to be said, are cowards too, just like JVS, and they're part of the problem. And a lot of times, Siovas made the point that they would mistranslate things, or they would put things in a certain light, or they would put certain players from a certain light. But Amenos would force this. The players would be put in certain lights. And that is just an undeniable fact. And it's just disgusting behavior, and I'm really tired of the argument the national team is above this, and we have to come together, because it's the national team as it has been set up as a political organization that is against certain players. Are they all against Olympiakos players? I don't buy into that argument as much, but are they against certain players? Hell yeah, they are to me. I'm just putting my opinion out there.
No, look, for me, I have been saying this from the get-go. I've been pointing out the flaws with JVS's tactics and the nonsense and the management decisions, the player decisions, since the beginning of this year, since the fall. And this comment from our good friend Michael Vicini from Elas Footy, JVS levels Australia. I agree with him. He has done nothing to show me anything otherwise. I was calling it out against Kosovo, against every freaking minnow that we played against. And everyone was like, oh, this was a masterclass. Look at how offensive we play. Yeah, okay. And then I kept bringing it up. This doesn't look good for Spain. We're going to have a team that's going to do nothing against Spain. We're not going to create a single opportunity. And we didn't. We got a lucky PK. And then I was worried about Georgia. Everyone laughed at me and said, oh, don't worry about Georgia. It's going to be fine. And we bit it against Georgia. I have been right about this whole thing. I'm going to toot my own horn. I have been right about it for 6 months. And it annoys the shit out of me, because I don't like being right about the Ethniki sucking ass. And I don't like being right about our coach being a dumbass. And I don't like being right about the bullshit going on behind the scenes. It's frustrating. It sucks. Because guess what, people? The world makes fun of us for that. How many times do we get scapegoated and we get looked at, oh, it's Greece. There's always corrupt shit that goes on down here. It's not a good look. And it pisses me off. And this whole thing, like that interview just rubbed me the wrong way because all it did was confirm suspicions people have about the country and what goes on behind the scenes in the country.
Also, and it was honest too. The whole interview, from his time at Olympiakos, he talked about Paolo Bento. He talked about all these things. Like, there wasn't, like, there's not bullshit in this interview. Like, it was literally just a player who's like, I play abroad. I'm 32 years old. I don't really give a shit. Like, if I come back to the national team, so I'm just gonna be honest. I'm here with Padelis Diamantopoulos, who's a really good journalist, and like is actually kind of just friends with some of these guys because he's so close to Olympiakos and he's friends with all these guys, and they just had a freaking discussion. Like, I encourage people to just, if you're Greek speaking, to just like sit there and watch, because if you watch the body language, if you watch how he talks, and you watch how I don't know if you picked up on that, but it was just like there was no bullshit in this, like, media trained, media work. Like, it was just like they were literally sitting on couches just like talking for an hour and a half, and it was fantastic.
What does he have to lose? Like, why would he lie? What does he have to lose? See, that's the thing, because I did see some people, mainly some fans from a certain club, that seemed to have this infatuation with JVS. I won't say names, but what does he have to lose? What does he have to gain?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then once you recognize that, then you can actually listen to that interview and be like, wow, this is enlightening. Because it was. It was. It just confirmed suspicions that we had about Socrates. And again, similar thoughts that were echoed. I mean, bullshit about him going and reaching out to Socrates only for an interview to be done by Chris Wheatley, the Football London journalist that we had on the show, where it was like, no one, I haven't talked to anybody about the national team.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that the whole setup is completely screwed. And hopefully with Zagorakis at the helm, he had that meeting with JVS. Hopefully things are going to change. And that's all we can hope for. Hopefully, I want to give JVS the benefit of the doubt and say that, you know what, it was Ramenos and the other people behind him. They are the ones that did this. They're the ones that kind of forced him to play these weird games. And now the shackles are off and he's going to actually start being a real coach. Maybe. I'm hoping. I think that's the best case scenario.
For sure. And I have one last point. Like, I don't know if you caught the point about him when he was talking about going to Spain and like how he's transformed his body, how he like arrived in Spain. There was an injury at Olympiakos. He was at the end of Paolo Bento, who was just like, he hated as well. He mentioned, again, like he was talking so openly. He was like, I hated Paolo Bento. Like, I needed to leave Olympiakos. I wanted it to go abroad, blah, blah, blah. So he shows up in Spain, and the coach there takes a look at him and weighs him and just goes like, dude, you have to lose 8 kilos. You're not fit. And so you're going to be running for the next 3 weeks. You're not even going to train with us. And he made Siovas work with the trainer. And the guy lost 8 kilos and then started putting it back in muscle. And he's like, I'm in the best shape of my life here in Spain. Like, things are different here. Like, I get to compete at a high level. It's not 6 European games, 8 European games. Every game is tough and difficult. And it was just an honest interview. And the guy is a character. Like, we're playing Sfarnas, we're playing Stafilidis over this guy, and again, it was just the way in which he spoke and it's just like, this guy's a top player and like a player who gets it. That's basically all I have on this, but I don't know you.
Yeah, no, it confirms also, like when he left right during that season with Bento, a lot of people were saying like, oh, he kind of looks like unfit, a little overweight, and it confirmed that. And the discipline, the mental constitution for him to get into that shape. Because, there was a comment earlier by G. Kotsias, our friend from Madrid. Siovas, because he is in great shape, and he is constantly one of the best defenders every week in La Liga. But you know what it's like to have to lose 8 kilos before you can even touch a ball, before you're even considered by the coach? When I was in my first year of undergrad, or uni as people across the pond might call it, and I returned from my first semester at college. I put on the freshman 30, okay? I gained a ton of weight. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to say like the eating habits or the drinking habits I had, but, I was working out. I gained a ton of weight really fast. And you guys met Coach Yanni. We had him on the pod. I was training with him, and I was still playing at the time. And when I came back for one of my first practices with him, he told me the same thing. I was like, you need to lose 7.5 kilos. And while everybody else got to do drills and tactics stuff, you know what I was doing? I was fucking running for an hour. You know what that's like? Running every day until you lose the weight that you're required to lose. It sucks. And it really makes you hate going to practice and you don't want to play the game. But the discipline he had to actually want to do that and to be able to do that and to keep doing it so that he could get into this position, it takes so much mental discipline and focus to be able to do that. It's so tough. And he has that mentality as a player that you want on the national team. And he's an amazing defender, and he's better, I think, for it.
Yeah. Honestly, just the interview was so good. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but like I thoroughly enjoyed listening to this whole thing. And it was like enthralling, I can say. Like it was just super interesting to listen to. And because people are not that open, footballers, like, and current footballers especially, but like when a player is from abroad, a Greek player goes and plays abroad at the highest level, I just feel like there's a bit of a clarity when they come back and they give interviews in Greece, and they're just like, they give good interviews. I think that's it. And Adi, do you want to give us? There's been rumblings of one young player not too far from me coming to Olympiakos. Are we going to give an update on this kid? What's his name? What's his situation?
Yeah, you guys may have heard. We've talked to him before. He's been brought up in the past. We brought him up when we were talking about Ike, when they were playing their playoff against this Swiss team, Saint Gallen. Leonidas Stergiou. He is both Greek. He has Greek and Swiss, I think, citizenship. But at the moment, he appears to have opted to play for the Swiss national team. I know he's playing for the U21s, and I thought I remember it being said. I don't remember if it was on the LS40 podcast or somebody bringing it up in one of the journals, but somebody had mentioned he could play for Greece. I don't know what the status is. I'm pretty sure I heard that he was just playing for Switzerland. Michael, if you're still in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. But once again, he's on the radar of Olympiakos. He was on the radar for Olympiakos in the winter, and I think this past summer. Yes, and it was brought up in our group thread also earlier. Michael brought it up again in the comments that you has Serbian ethnicity as well mixed in there. This kid can pretty much play for whatever country he wants, I guess. But yeah, we're heavily linked with him. He is 19 years old, guys. Highly touted prospect. He has gained like 5 million in value just from his play this year. So we did a bit of a deep dive because the rumors are pretty serious, just like the Belhanda rumors. And it looks like we may be offloading a center back. And with that money, we want to get somebody that we're going to be able to bring in, develop a little bit, and also be able to sell for big bucks. So we did a deep dive on him because you guys love to hear. You like to see what these possible potential additions we have could offer us. So we did what we always do. I watched some tape, and here's what I got. So watched pretty much almost all seasons worth of film on him. He's a physical kid, 5'11", 100, and he weighed in at the middle of the season at 100, almost 160 pounds. So pretty good. I mean, athletic, not too big, not too lean, right where you want. Not the tallest center back, but he's very, very physical, guys. He doesn't shy away from anybody. I mean, you get close to him, he's grappling with you. He's getting scrappy. And it's nice because he doesn't draw too many fouls. Actually, he draws the least amount of fouls. He's like in the lowest 3 among defenders in terms of drawing those. He's very smart. He plays within the rules of the game, but he doesn't make it easy for anyone. Fundamentals are sound. And when I say fundamentals for a defender, I mean his positioning, the way he boxes people out, where he sends them. For those of you that do play defense, you know that when people are sprinting at you on the counter or when they're sprinting at you in open field, you're supposed to contain them and try and move them to the outside. And then you give yourself enough time for somebody to track back. Does that very well. Doesn't make too many lunges. Doesn't really get caught open that often. He when closing down players that have some skill and the ability to beat you on the ball, he doesn't jump, he waits, and he has pretty quick reflexes too. And he looks pretty good. I mean, for a 19-year-old kid, I was impressed with how consistent and how solid he looked in some of these situations. Michael Vicini also bringing up a great comment when he watched him play against St. Gallen. First impression was he played like a veteran. Yeah, guys, I mean, when you watch him, if you don't know that he's 19 years old, you're like, man, this kid's he's got some experience. He knows what he's doing. He knows the looks. He knows where he's going. And he does. And closing down players, he is very, very good. Yes, G Kotsia 7. Yes, is he fast? He's pretty quick. He's pretty quick. Not the fastest I've seen, but he's quick. Quick enough. As quick as you need to be for a center back. He ranks 15th among all center backs in Switzerland, both left and right, of course, with a hodgepodge of different. Of course, remember those rankings include a whole bunch of different stats and weighted metrics. So 15th isn't bad. It's not the best, but it's good. It's solid for a 19-year-old kid. I don't think you can expect much more. It's pretty good for that type of player. As I was mentioning before, very good closing players down. Almost 72% success in defensive duels. Number 6 overall, not just center backs, number 6 overall in Switzerland when closing players down. Very good. I mentioned it before. Doesn't jump. Very good at using his space very wisely to crowd people out. He's also top 10 in terms of total interceptions. Has 169 interceptions on the season. Number 6 overall. He also leads Swiss players in an interesting statistic with regards to interceptions. He leads in interceptions per opponent's pure possession in 30 minutes. So for every pure possessive period, so 30-minute period where they just accumulate all the time an opponent or all the time a team actually has possession. They're moving the ball around, not just they get the ball and lose it. They're moving the ball around. He leads all players in interceptions. So that means when a team is on the ball, he's very good at reading. He's very good at reading where the ball's going, how the plays are developing. And then if a ball comes deep or if a ball's being played, he's very good at picking out where that pass is going to go, getting it, and of course, winning possession for his team. Very interesting statistic. And I love that because the player has seems to have a very high IQ in terms of the defensive end of the ball. Now, not so good in the air, unfortunately. Again, he's not the tallest, and I don't really know. Positioning also is kind of weird when he's on set pieces. I don't think he's really good at judging the ball when it's in the air. But that's something that could be worked on. 47% success, and he has heavy volume in the defensive penalty area. So in his penalty area, he sees some of the highest volume of aerial duels in the league, in the Swiss league. And he's almost 43% in terms of his success rate. So I'm not super high on him in the air. But again, these are things that can be worked on. Body language is good. We talked about Behanda. I hated the body language. He just seemed like he would yell at players constantly. No, the body language is good. You see him. Obviously, he's 19 years old. You don't see him like barking orders. You see him acknowledging things being said to him. You see him pointing out players. So that's good. This is all stuff that's good. You like to see. Very positive. Nothing poor. And I mentioned before, he doesn't accrue too many yellow cards. So at the end of all these deep dives, everyone asks, Adi, you want him? Do you not want him? So yeah, I want him. I want him on this team. He's a great player at 19 years old. Now, the question is, are we going to pay the money to get him? Because he's valued at $5 million. And I know other teams are looking at him. I don't see how we get this kid for less than $5 million. I think he could be worth it. And it's not like we're paying for money for a Bjorn Engels. That's not the type of center back we need. No, this kid can fit right in. I don't know if he necessarily can be a quarterback center like CB, like Semedo for us. I don't know if he's like a ball player, but we have Markovic coming back who fills that role if Semedo does leave. So his volume is like 30 touches a game. That's what he averages. I saw 2 games where he actually had like 60 touches, but I don't see a lot of that confidence on the ball, and maybe because he doesn't get as many opportunities, something he can grow to have. I don't know. I don't know if it's there, but hey, I mean, he's so young. We could see that, but he definitely looks like a solid player. In terms of his defensive ability, Gkotia7 asks, who would you compare him with? See, that's tough because I think of Retsos, but without the ball playing ability. Because Retsos was very good with the ball at his feet. And this kid is good with short passing. He'll get it. He'll dish it to who's next to him. Looks composed on the ball, and the technique is there. He keeps it very close to him. But you don't see that confidence on the ball that like Semedo has or Retsos had at such a young age, especially. So, but Retsos was pretty good defensively, and Retsos was also pretty good in the air. So he's like I would pretty much say he's like a poor man's Retsos in this respect. Because he's not as good in the air, and I don't know if he has that ball playing ability. So, but he's very good closing people down, and he's very good on the defensive aspects of the ball. So that's my thing on him. I would take him at 5 million. I would still take him, assuming that we would play him. But I don't think I find it to be very hard to believe we could get him for that amount of money, or less.
No, I just to jump in from the Swiss perspective here. This kid is playing for St. Gallen, a team that is a pretty big team, but they're currently in a bit of the relegation fight. Like the Swiss table's really close. The hometown team, Servette, was in second place. Now not in second place anymore. But St. Gallen is like very close to the relegation fight. It's very tight at the bottom, so not the best team in the world. But also he's been voted like best player in Switzerland, best young player in Switzerland, I should say. He's highly well regarded. The press here is saying that he's linked with Italian teams. I know Atalanta is supposedly one of the Italian teams that are sniffing around. To be honest, guys, I don't think this one's happening. Don't see it happening at all. Michael saying, I see him in the Bundesliga. I kind of see him in the Bundesliga as well. Or in Italy as well. The Italian teams like to sniff around here as well. And it's funny you do the full report. Like, I'm a bit scared he's not going to play for the Greek national team, 1. And 2, he's not going to come to Olympiakos either. And so our little hearts are going to be broken after the deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, I would love. I mean, he's at such a young age to see what you see in him. It's so refreshing to see. But that's why I just don't think it's realistic that we're going to get him, because this kid is going to go for at least 5 million. If you got him for 5, that's a steal. I'll be honest with you with what I've watched. He's really good, and you know what? I'll cross my fingers if we can get him and we get him for 5. If we get him for less, that would be. All hail the front office. That would be amazing. But the thing I think it's time we get to.
Can I just jump in real quick? The thing is, 1, it's going to be difficult for Olympiakos, but 2, like, why would this guy ever play for the Greek national team after we just talked about a brilliant defender in Dimitris Siovas? Like, what? Do you know how competent football is here in Switzerland? How good the national team is here in Switzerland? Like, why in the hell would this kid ever choose to play for Greece over like the facilities they have here, the team they have here? Like, bro, there's no comparison. I would play for the Greek national team because I love Greece, blah blah blah. But if I was in this kid's shoes, where I grew up in Switzerland, I've come through the system in Switzerland, to go play for Greece, who doesn't even have a training center for their national team, come on now.
I would say that, I mean, at least there are a lot more younger players getting looks right now under JVS. That's like one of the things I have positive to say about him. So I think he would get a look at the national team, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I were in his shoes if I would switch. I mean, if it's a choice between the US and Greece, I'm obviously picking Greece. I'm sorry, that's just it for me. But I understand I love Gkotia7. You're killing me here. JVS would play Spartas instead. You're not wrong, buddy. You are not wrong.
I'm telling you, there is like dark forces on our national team, and like it just pains me to. it pains me to like talk about the national team because like it seems like some people haven't come to this reality. It's just like, you know what I mean, Adi? Like there's stuff in the background going on with this national team that like maybe it doesn't make the front page news, and maybe like some people take it as conspiracy talk, but it's just like not. It's just not. And like anyone who has followed Greek football for a long time knows this stuff is true. You know what I mean? It's just anyway.
Oh, Decimus, you're killing me now. But you guys are killing me here in the comments.
Yeah, Jesus
JVS
Christ,
would have
guys.
Cristiano and play.
This is why we do the episodes live.
You
JVS will
guys
have
are killing me.
Cristiano and still play
I
Luminos.
swear. All right, well, you know what? We're not going to waste any more time on JVS. We're not going to waste any more time on the Greek national team, but we are going to jump into post-match for Asteras. Bit of a boring game. We'll just jump into it. Look, we'll just jump into it real quick, get it out of the way so we can get into some more meaty stuff. The death of the European Super League. Everyone's looking forward to that, but let's just jump into the post-match. It was pretty boring. I watched it on delay, and I already could tell from our group chat that I wasn't going to like this game because I literally had just started the first half, and I see Martial's halftime comments. He's like, what a waste of 45 minutes of my life. Yes, Decimus, that match was bad from my eyes too, my friend. Yes, it really was. I mean, it was frustrating for a couple of reasons, but let's get into some data first. So expected goals. The expected goals, it was 1.46 for Olympiakos versus 0.48 for Asteras. So 1-0 score full time kind of makes sense. It does. That was pretty much the game script. Asteras didn't really offer anything forward. They didn't really offer that much at all. A couple of dangerous opportunities that didn't really pan out into anything material. In terms of shots, Olympiakos ended up with 11 with 4 on target, 36% efficiency. Asteras had 6 with only 1 on target, 7%. Positional attacks. Olympiakos had 30, resulting in 8 shots total. We were definitely the most effective on the right with an XG of 0.57, 0.28 on the left. Now, funny thing to mention here, because all of the, we'll say, it came out to almost like 60% of the X goal threat generated in open play came when one player was involved. Lambro, who do you think that one player was?
Hassan.
Nope.
One player was involved?
There was one player, and that's correct. Almost every play he was involved in led to some form of X goal threat. So Mario Vrusai was really good. I mean, just what a great return for him. Now, in terms of the counter, we really didn't have any. I think we had 1, and it resulted in nothing. Asteras had 9 counters, resulting in 3 shots. And most of that X goal threat came from the right. 5 counters on the right side of the field, ending in 0.22 X goal XG threat. So Asteras really didn't offer anything much all game. They were the most dangerous pretty much on the counter. In open play, they had a combined total of 0.09 XG, nothing. It was just the counter. Didn't really offer much. So game kind of went how we, I guess, expected. When you've already secured the title, it's kind of hard to motivate your players. I'm not super upset about much of this game, except for one thing. Why the hell could we not have had one academy player playing? Whether it was Tsolakis between the sticks or Sourlis in the midfield, maybe even Apostolopoulos on the left. I don't care. Like, this is Asteras, guys. I get it. Okay, they're a top 6 team, and I'm sorry, Alex Koutakos, if I don't mean to be offensive to Asteras, but it's Asteras. Okay? We've secured the league. We have nothing to play for right now except the Kipelo. We're not fighting for an invincible season. There is no excuse. 0. None excuse. Play 1. I'm not saying to just throw scrubs on and completely throw the games. No, I just want 1. You're going to make me watch Thiago Silva play this damn game. Thiago Silva, almost 80 touches in the game and did almost nothing. 1 shot assist all game. No through passes from him. Nothing. I have to watch 80 touches of Thiago Silva making 10-meter passes or less. What a joke. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. I didn't want to offend you, man.
Alex is watching live. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
But it's ridiculous. I don't want to see Thiago Silva. I'm done. Send him back to Nottingham Forest. I was joking around with one of the podcasters, Lambro, that Republic of Arsenal. And he was talking about Yann Villa being rumored. And I was like, no, take Thiago Silva. We'll give him to you. We'll give him to you, and I'll send you some ouzo, racomelo, some chocolates. I'll give you a back massage, too. How about that? Just take him. I don't care. I'm done. 80 touches, and you do nothing. How is that possible? He will take a player on just to stop in front of him and pass it square. Every time. There's no ingenuity. There's no football brain here. I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't care how technical you are. I don't care if you have a nice touch. There's no football brain. There's none.
I feel like we just have one semi-useless midfielder who gets rotated every year, whether it was Nato. Was it Nato? Is that his name?
Yeah, but at least Nato
was decent. Nato had played in big teams, man, but
yeah.
But a player who was just okay, Cafu, Thiago Silva. What is Nato the good example there? Is there
no? Because Nato was a great impact sub. The problem is he couldn't last 90 minutes.
Yeah,
and he wanted to play 90 minutes. He was. But
I'm trying to remember.
Sub.
Was there one other midfielder we had that year who was just bang average?
I mean, there were. At one point we had Yaya Toure who could barely walk.
Oh my God, yes. But I mean, just a bang average. He
played as a 10 anyway.
Yeah, God, that was. Do you remember he started in Milan? Anyway, Thiago Silva for me is just when I see Thiago Silva in our team, I'm trying to convince myself that it's all a dream. Yeah. Honestly, guys, just what is the point of Thiago Silva? I just, it pains me to watch him play football a bit, and it's funny because Nottingham Forest supporters are claiming this guy is the king and the top player. He's a bit of an average one. So I just, it's again the Cafu situation last year where it's why is this dude Cafu playing? You know what I mean? It's just this guy's 28, 29. This is who he is as a player. He's not going to have a future past this year at Olympiakos. No. So
no.
Why?
And he's also terrible in the defensive end of the ball. He had 3 fouls. He led the team in fouls committed. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to defend without trying to kill somebody. You know what I mean? We have Pepe, who there's skill there. It's just an issue of the effort, and he's more of a mentality issue. I did a blog about it. Pepe. There's for me at least, there appears to be something there. But Thiago Silva, I remember when we first brought him in, and I remember we were talking to some Nottingham Forest fans, and they were like, yeah, take him. He has a nice touch, but he doesn't ever do anything. And yeah, I see now what they were talking about. Take him back. If they're excited to have him back now, fine, take him. I don't care. Just get rid of him. I'd rather have Adrutzos or Solis, picking, doing something there. But yeah, talk about miserable. Absolutely miserable.
And on the other end of that, we got a comment here. Hugo Kuipers looks good. Would give him a chance next season. I agree. I enjoyed, but just
I don't know.
I've enjoyed Hugo Kuipers, and I've really liked him from the start. But it's just the goals aren't there. The goals haven't been coming. You know what I mean?
The goals aren't there, and the technical ability isn't. Now, see, here's the thing: the energy is lovely.
The energy is amazing.
I love it. And that's the thing people always seem to forget with David Fuster. David Fuster wasn't a wizard with the ball. He actually was, in terms of his touch, was pretty ordinary. You know what I mean? He had a great shot, but he did the simple things right, and his work rate was phenomenal. And that's why I find it so hard to dislike Kuipers, because the effort is there, the energy is there. I love it. It's just he doesn't have that killer instinct. He just doesn't have that goal threat, that instinct for that. And his ball playing ability is okay. It's not amazing. So he does you watch El Arabi and what happens when you play Hassan off of El Arabi. So, and that works because El Arabi is just a fantastic footballer. But when you see Kuipers on there with Hassan, neither one of them can do that. You know what I mean? And Kuipers has the energy that you like, but he's not a world beater. So that's the thing here.
We've
I'd still
had
give
so
him a
many
shot,
like
but
him. We've had
yeah,
Miguel Angel Guerrero. If, like, let's say
it's another
Hugo
one. Yeah,
Kuipers played as many minutes as Guerrero, would their production be damn near the same? Like, I have a gut feeling maybe.
yeah. I wish Kuipers
And
got more playing
Manos,
time.
like, I'm gonna keep giving you names. Manos was the same thing. Remember?
Yeah,
Just never gave us the goal. And then what was his name?
giving him prize
Soldano,
though.
Franco Soldano,
Wow.
for like a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, let's say,
Yeah.
didn't give us the goal but gave us good energy. And this is actually so funny. I never even texted you guys in the group chat this, but like Soldano scored, I guess, for Boca Juniors, and they were just ripping him to shreds, making like absolute jokes, like posting like a picture of him on Pele, and they're like, "It's unbelievable, he's finally scored!" Like, just making so much fun of him on the tweet, announcing he had scored a goal for Boca. Like, and I was like, okay, the Soldano may not be good enough for us, because they were just
Yeah.
making fun of him endlessly. It's like we've seen this story before. Like, I really like Hugo Kuipers. I really
You
do
like him
like
because he
him.
speaks Greek.
One, because he speaks Greek, and two, like, I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna go somewhere, maybe in Belgium, maybe in France, and do well. You know, I could see him going back
Yeah.
to Belgium and making a career. You know, almost like almost some of like these Belgian players who left us, like Dosevi. I don't know, who just like go back home and make themselves a very good career, and we are always thinking like, goddamn, like I wish he sticked around. And yes, he also dumped Ike and chose us over them. So I just want to see more time for him and the less time for Hassan. Maybe him all alone coming up. And yeah, I have another name to give us. Like, Kenny Lala came off injured at halftime. How, you guys who are listening now, and I'll ask you, Adi, this now, are we worried about Kenny Lala? It's been a lot of meh performances, as Peter likes to say, where it's almost we were expecting so much and we haven't seen it yet. Is this all down to just like no preseason, no cohesion, or technically, sometimes technically watching him, I felt like this guy is not even that great either. Like, what do you think?
So remember when I did the deep dive on Kenny? I said the one thing that we don't know how he's going to assimilate in is that he was playing on a purely defensive team. They didn't get forward very much in any game. When they did, he looked like he was doing a job. He looked like he had decent touch. He didn't lose the ball cheaply. He was quite physical. But my question was, how is this going to translate to a team that is always dominating? And what I see is a little timidness from him trying to go forward. In the beginning, he didn't look like he was overlapping, and we see him overlapping more now. He, just a month, he's already overlapping more on a per game basis than he was when he first came in. And I think he needs a summer. I think he needs a summer to gel with the team and to mesh a little bit, because he looks afraid to get forward. Because for years he played on a team that all he did was defend, sit back, sit back, sit back, only getting forward in very specific occasions. You can't train that out of a person overnight or even in a month. It takes a lot of work, a lot of work. And I saw some things I did like with him. We saw a lot of runs, Madi unlocking him a couple times on that side with some runs. And then when Vrusai moved over there, I think that helped him out a little bit when Martin switched the wingers. And I think that helped because he had a player that he could play off of a little more, because Valbuena just kind of floats wherever the hell he's going to go. And you can't give a guy like Lala that's a little timid going forward, a winger that's going to go wherever the hell he wants, and then he's by himself. You have to have somebody that's experienced in this system to be able to deal with all that open space on his own. Or a guy like Adrutsos who can run all day and isn't afraid to get forward. So I'm not bothered. I'm not worried about it. He's going to be fine. I want to see him with a full summer of training, really gelling with the team. I am not worried about him at all. Also because he's way better defensively than Adrutsos. That's it. I'm okay with him though. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, no, the conversation is ongoing. ongoing throughout the community, and I thought I would bring it up. It was a strange game against Asteras, like just so boring, man, just so boring. And I want to pull up our since that Ike game. It seems like the football has been kind of meh, and I guess that's to the. Oh man, this is why I hate doing these things live. George, I'm happy you're watching, and
Oh
thank
my
you for
God, Lambro's
thinking.
so cute for the
Thank
audio
you for
listeners.
it,
Thank
it's
you, George.
at like 12:15 at night here in Geneva, pushing on, talking about Kenny Lala and like this game against Asteras. Anyway, yeah, the football's just been meh, and I'm kind of scared we're gonna keep playing meh, and then Wednesday's gonna come around against Bas, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be kind of a shit show, and we're gonna be scared that we're not gonna make it through for like 60 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried that there's literally no rhythm in this team, and I don't know what
Yeah.
Pedro Martinez is gonna do to kind of get these guys back on track.
And this is why you should be playing more youth players, because guess what? The guys that know they're the starters on the team, that know they're going to be the starters come next season, they drop a gear or two. But guess what? The young guys or the rotation players that have skin in the game, that want that time, that want to impress the coach, they're going to put everything on that field. That's why you play them. And then you have energy. The energy on the field is contagious. Everybody that's played the game can tell you that. Doesn't matter who it is. When you see somebody really working hard or doing well, it motivates you to do the same. So by putting those young guys on and letting them just run and do what they can to impress the coach, it then motivates everybody else on the field. Yes, it has that effect. I'm not going to keep bitching about it because there's no point, but that's really one of the reasons why you want to have some of these rotational and young guys on the field, because it can help elevate everybody else's performance when they're kind of kicking it back a gear. Now, I wanted to give a shout out to our good boy, Mari Camara. Amazing. Even when he's like having an off game, the guy is just a class above the rest. 100 touches. 100 touches
Yeah.
against Asteras. 94% pass accuracy. 4 smart passes. Well, 4 attempted. I don't remember how many were accurate. I think it was like 1 or 2. But still, sees those lanes all the time. He's the guy that sees the moves. He sees the defenses break down. He's a Fortunis that plays deeper. Oh, God, we're not going to keep him, man. Like, I'm going to be so sad when we lose Madi, because it's just a matter of time before he goes. He is an elite caliber player that should be playing in the top league. He really is.
It felt like he was like in first gear the whole game too, right? It felt like he was doing this without even trying. Like he was just
ridiculous, man.
And another player I want to bring up, Costa's not here to yell at me, so I thought I'd bring it up while he's not here. Christensen. The debate is raging. The debate is raging in the group chats, the WhatsApp chat. I personally rate him. I know a lot of you agree with me. Throw it in the comments if you do. But the debate of whether Christensen should be getting these minutes at the end of the season or Tsolakis. And for me, how do I explain this? The games I saw Tsolakis play, he's 17 years old too. I hate criticizing him like this, but his handling was poor. He didn't inspire confidence, especially in the cup final against PAOK. His distribution was poor. And that's fine. But like we have a competition for the first team goalkeeper because Jose Sa is leaving this summer, if we're being real. And Christensen has shown me, at least so far, like this guy could do it. You know, this may sound stupid in like 3 months, but there's a reason he's an Icelandic international. There's a reason he was voted player of the season for Larissa a few times. And like this guy is quite good, and his distribution is good. His reading of the game is good. He inspires confidence. His handling is good. I know he didn't get challenged much. That's why I really want to see him actually on Saturday. Is it Saturday? Sunday with Ike. Because I think he could be the one. I think he could be the one who replaces Jose Sa. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous. I don't think Tsolakis at this point can replace anyone. So it's a bit of a waste of time playing Zoulakis right now for me. I don't
This
know.
is the time you can play him, though. It's
It
against
is.
Asteras. So look, I understand what you're saying about Christensen because he does look, for me, he does look more calm, secure, more confident in the back. He come now, but remember, he's 31 years old, and even though he looks calm, he looks like confident back there. He comes out, he doesn't have too many issues. He's 31. It's not the end of a goalkeeper's career. It's towards the middle of it, I'd say, because
Yeah,
goalkeepers
they're a
play
bit
until they're
older, I
40.
feel. Yeah.
But we're seeing basically the ceiling of what this is it. I mean, he's not really going to get that much better. Now, the Cholakis is, I mean, we're hearing so much about him from different sources. People notice him. They know that he's a great academy product. And maybe Christensen becomes the starter, at least in the beginning of next season. I'm okay with that, with the more secure player, the older player, more experienced player doing that. But Tsolakis needs to get games, especially when they mean nothing. There was no excuse for him not to play. I'm sorry. He should have played instead of Christensen against Asteras. I'm okay with Christensen playing in a derby because, look, a young kid playing in a derby, we know how the media will crucify, even the fans will crucify a young Greek talent. So I'm okay with him not playing against Ike, Panathinaikos, PAOK, whatever. But in this game against Asteras, Cholaki should have played. He really should have. Because the nerves we saw when Cholakis was playing, he's young. Of course he's going to be nervous. He's on the big stage for the club he loves in a big, big, big game. You got to work those out. The more you play, the less those nerves are there, the more you get used to it. And you're not going to get used to it if you don't play, especially in games that don't mean anything. It's the best time to work up his confidence because even if you lose, it means nothing. So that's, for me, Tsolakis has to play.
Yeah, it's difficult for me because I didn't even realize Christensen was 31. I thought he was like 26, 27. So that changes my opinion slightly, but I think he.
Oh, and Tsolakis is 8. Yeah, he turned 18 in November, I think.
Okay,
So he's
so
18 now.
so the thing is, I just want him to play out on loan, but yeah, I think he should start playing. And really with that, like, man, I'm trying to think, is there really anything else like we want to talk about from this game? Should we just do man of the match and
Yeah, let's just do a man of the match coaching grade.
Yeah.
You could start.
man of the match and coaching grade? Where do I begin? Can I just give man of the match to Socrates for the goal and clean sheet, playing decent?
Why not? Yeah, you can.
Why
That's
not?
reasonable.
I'll give it to him. I feel like no one's gonna remember this game. Do any of you still even remember the game? I'm sorry, Asteras fans and Olympiakos fans. Coaching grade, say B plus. I don't know. I just thought it was a mad game. Not much. You?
For me, coaching grade. Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, he had a couple changes he had to make, injuries, otherwise. I'm still going to give him like a solid B, bordering B minus, because again, I'm sick of seeing some of these guys like Avram. Like, come on, guys, really? Are we going to see this again?
Did you
Thiago
see the
Silva?
kid on Nova Sports telling me like Avram is like a mountain?
I did. I watched. I can't be bothered with that shit. I
Dude,
can't be
oh
bothered
my,
with
these
that.
people are just so dumb.
This is why I don't take a lot of Greek fans sometimes in Greece seriously, because they're like American football fans. You know what I mean? Some of them just like, they just say weird shit and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But whatever, man. It is what it is. So
And
B minus for Martins. And my man of the match is Rusai.
Yeah, he played well.
The highest X-goal threats came from him. Anytime he touched the ball, he was dangerous. Link up with him was fantastic. And then runner-up is Mari Kamara. Gikots, should Baralis had been sent off?
Kenny Lala was sent off for less, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe
that's
not
true.
less. Like, he kind of did stamp on the ankle.
Exactly.
But,
He did
like,
step on the
Baralis, like,
ankles.
winded up and slammed his knee. Like, there was
Yeah.
heavy contact there. Like, I don't know what
I've
the
seen
injury...
it given. I've also seen it not given, I'll be honest with you. But
Also, I'm just looking back at some comments, thoughts on Bruma. Thrylos 7. The opinion on Bruma here is pretty
We get
well
asked
known.
this every episode, every
Yeah,
live episode.
guys,
People ask
we're
us
kind
about
of tired
Bruma.
of talking about Bruma, man. You can listen to some of the
And
older
Chumich too.
episodes.
I saw somebody asked about
Yeah,
Chumich, and
Aguilar's asked, guys, what's your opinion
yeah,
on Šumić? Aguilar's, man, we've talked about Šumić a lot of times. We want to see him come back in the summer and see what he can do, man.
yeah.
Get a
And
few preseason games.
I will be doing for a lot of our loan players. I already did a blog post about Pepe. May do something in a podcast or maybe another blog post about other loan players returning. I promise I will dive deep into their moves and assess how they did. I promise I will do all of that, whether it's on a podcast or in a blog post. I will get to each one. It started with Pepe, but I will do more. I gave you guys a little bit with Maxi Lovera. I think that and Cisse. So I will do more for every single one. But guys, these take time. Like when I watch film, it takes a lot of time. It usually because I have the baby now too. It takes me like multiple days to watch all the film I like. I take notes because I like to be thorough because you guys deserve that. You know what I mean? I want to make sure everybody has an informed opinion on these things. So when I don't mess around with these deep dives, I want to make sure you guys know exactly what we're getting so that we can then, when we talk about him, when we see him, we can decide whether or not he's a disappointment or not or what he has to offer. So I will get to them, I promise.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it would be interesting to do, this may sound crazy, a Bruma deep dive at the end of the season just because we
I'll
watch him
do
every
it.
day. But like a
Yeah, I'll
deep
do it.
dive into the statistical analysis. And with that, what else is there really we wanted to talk about real quick, this European Super League just like blowing
Yes.
the hell up.
Thank God.
Yeah, fantastic
And
news, really. Like,
yep.
and if I can, I tweeted this and it took off a little bit on Twitter. Like, I want to see punishment. And you know what these freaking English FA and people are saying? We can't punish them because it would hurt the fans. Like, but you people feel free to deduct points for teams for not running their financials right, kicking teams out of Europe, things like that. It's like they're making excuses now for these big teams who took our game hostage and almost destroyed football as we know it. These teams won. Relegation should be on the table for me. I know they're not going to do it, but
No.
it should be on the
They make
table.
too much money.
They
There's
make
too
too
much
much money.
revenue.
But this is almost like a cheating scandal. Like Juventus was sent to Serie B for this. And I know the Italians, my friends are Roma fans, they've been discussing sending them to Serie B. The newspapers in Italy have been asking it. So for me, it's on the table. And the question of European football ban for a year, I think should also be on the table.
Every single one.
Every single one. And huge
It won't
fines.
happen though. It's not going to happen.
Multi-million-dollar fine. More than multi-million. You
Yeah.
could throw a 30 million euro fine at them. They were risking so much, guys. They
Yeah.
were risking so much, these European teams. And again, was it Agelos? Yes, we were talking about Nikola Šumić. I love that we're getting so many comments on him. Yes, we're going to be evaluating Nikola Šumić as the season ends and talking about that. And we have a comment from Chris Oxford. Now Super League is gone. What reform would you want to see in the Champions League? 2 teams from each nation. 4 is too biased. Adi, what do you think?
So this is before I get to that, I want to explain why the European Super League was a bad idea. Because it wasn't the idea behind it coming from the American model. Some of what's behind the American model is good, but they didn't take that. They didn't take the stuff that made the American model work because there's so much nuance. Remember, there's different cultural aspects here. There's different culture around sports in the United States, where I live, where Lambro's from, where Peter's from, than there is in Europe, where Costa lives, where many of you guys are from. In the United States, we love parity. We want pure parity. And remember, the sports that we have here that are big, not a lot of them are big in other parts of the world. American football, it's really only big here. It's getting popular in the UK, but that's it. Baseball is popular in some areas, in like some players, South America, Central America. But the league that everyone cares about is the MLB. NBA, you have basketball in Europe, of course, which is huge, and then basketball in the United States. The system that supports our professional sports is related around college, that because we don't have like youth academies for anything. You go to college and then you get put into a draft, because there's no purchasing of players like it is in soccer. There's no, I'm going to buy this guy for 10 million, you for 5 million. There's none of that. You pick players, you get draft picks. If you come in last in the league, there's no relegation or promotion, something that I personally hate, but we don't have it. There's parity. So if you do really bad, some people say, you got rewarded. But the idea is if you do bad, you get a chance to have a new beginning. You get the first round pick. You can pick the best player of the young class that's coming in. So the things that make American sports great is, one, parity. In most sports, if there is no salary cap, whether it's the NHL or football, there's a salary cap, or even in baseball and basketball now, there's a luxury tax. If you spend more than a certain amount on your budget, you get taxed on it. And there isn't anything like that in Europe. So they tried to import this model that has two core tenets that make it competitive and make it fun for us in the United States to watch. There's parity, because every team has to spend the exact same. They can't spend more or less than another team, with certain respects. Vinagre would have been number 1 pick in the ESL draft. Absolute baller. Fetanos. Oh my God. You guys are killing me in these comments. Fetanos legend, always makes me laugh. Anyway, so you can't spend more than other teams for the most part. And you all make the same money. There's revenue sharing. So everybody makes virtually the same money. You can't import that to Europe across multiple countries like this. And we love in the United States an underdog story. And guess what happens very frequently in American sports? Because of the nature of the parity, underdogs can be victorious. You don't have the same team that's winning every freaking year like it is in half of these other leagues, like in Greece or Spain, or 1 or 2 teams. In football, there's tons of different teams that win. Like the Patriots are the most, they do win a little bit more than the rest, but it comes down to your infrastructure and your philosophy. That's how you win. How you pick the right players, how you allocate your resources based on that. Now, when they tried to make this ESL, this European Super League, they didn't touch on these core tenets. They were just like, hey, look, no relegation, no promotion. Let's just get a shit ton of money. We're backed by JP Morgan Chase, and we pick this country club of teams that gets to hang out. All the teams that make the most money and have the largest audiences. Hey, we're going to bring them together and just play with each other. Completely closed system. That's not the American model. That's not what makes the American model successful. And it doesn't surprise me that these millionaire owners, friends with JP Morgan Chase, Florentino Perez, and his buddies in the EPL, that they don't understand that and that they completely screwed this up, because they didn't take what makes the American system great, why we love it in the United States. They took the worst parts of it. They took the greed and they tried to export that to Europe. That's why this failed. Greedy assholes screwed this up. And isn't it funny how FFP disappears when some of these clubs would be skirting that? And now they want to screw up football for all of these countries just so that they can balance their books. And I'm sorry if I'm explicit here. Fuck you guys. Because guess what? When our clubs have a problem, it's, get yourself up by your bootstraps. Balance your books. Make the tough choices. Oh, and by the way, ban from Europe. Ban from transfers. Fuck you guys. That's what you say to us when the smaller clubs have a problem. So guess what? Fuck you guys. You can have a transfer ban. Get your books together. Barcelona, go bankrupt. Get your books together. I don't care. I know Messi's on the team, but I don't care if Barcelona's history gets screwed. I don't care.
They should
you
go
guys
bankrupt.
made these mistakes.
Yeah.
Go bankrupt. I don't care. Your legacy? Fuck your legacy. I don't care.
It's time for
That's it.
some of these big teams to go face what some of the smaller teams. Like,
It's
as much
ridiculous.
as we hate them, like Panathinaikos banned for Europe from like 3
Yeah.
years.
They have more European pedigree than Tottenham. And
Yeah.
look, guys, I know that some of the hardcore Olympiakos fans are like, "Oh, why are you praising Panathinaikos?" I'm just saying,
Like, the thing
it's a
is,
joke.
yeah, it is a bit of a joke. And I think one of the comments we had was from Chris was like, what is there to do now? So this whole thing about like the legacy teams making it is so incredibly stupid.
It won't happen. It won't happen.
And
The
I think
outcry
the
that
outcry,
happened, not happening. It's not
yeah,
happening.
I think, to be honest with you, like Ilkay Gundogan came out with a statement saying like he doesn't like the new format with more games, but like coming from our perspective, the 10 games and like the table, is that better for us? We get to play
Yeah,
10
more
games in
money.
the Champions League as well.
More money. Yeah, it's
No,
more
but
money.
from
Look,
like our side, just like watching, I prefer to watch us in Europe than I do in Greece because the
yeah,
games are better and they're more fun.
yeah,
Like, so
absolutely.
10 games in the Champions League, I'm fine with that. 36 teams, I'm fine with that. I would just rather the spots go to the champions of some of these teams so that I can Tottenham start in like or not Tottenham, but the fourth place team in England, can they start in the first qualifying round and we get automatic,
See, I
you know?
don't want. So I liked when they stopped taking like the top leagues and having like their fourth place team have to play that playoff round. Because do you like? Can you like? Do you guys remember drawing some hot shots or some teams having to draw like Arsenal or whatever in that playoff round just to make it? No, I right now the caliber of teams we have to play to get into the Champions League group stage. Basaksehir, Partizan, Krasnodar, our odds are way better against them than in some of these top
Yeah,
teams with
but what
budgets
I'm arguing is like
out of our stratosphere.
the champions of our leagues, like Scotland, Greece, the Netherlands, Serbia, should just be in automatically instead of these. Like,
Yeah,
the
I see what
best
you're saying.
game should be like, let's be honest, like Valencia and Spurs should be playing to qualify for the Champions League, not Olympiakos and Krasnodar. If Krasnodar won, like Olympiakos and Red Star shouldn't be playing in qualifiers. It should be Tottenham and Valencia, who are fourth place teams because they're the champions of nothing. I know that's never going
Yeah.
to happen, but the champions of Europe should be automatically in while the fourth place teams battle it out. And the fourth place teams, okay, maybe they're Lille from France, maybe they're, I don't know, Atalanta at this moment, or even Juve. Maybe we'll see how the table ends up in Italy, but just my
I have
opinion.
to find a video because somebody broke this down already because they kind of already sort of did what you're talking about. And I understand I liked that, but then when somebody did the breakdown, sure, you get some of these title winners from these other countries qualifying, but it's almost guaranteed that 90% of those other teams from the smaller leagues will not make it in. And it sucks. And Vios Mentas said, exactly, we shouldn't play 4 rounds when we are champions. Yeah, look, guys, I'm not disagreeing. It sucks. But the if you do that, the net result is less smaller clubs actually will continue to go forward because now you're requiring anybody else that has to make the qualifications to play against these big teams in qualifications. You're not playing against teams of your caliber. So that's kind of why one works and the other doesn't work quite as much.
Brilliant comment by Fetanos. A good thing about the Greek Super League not having a straight spot in the Champions League is that PAOK still haven't qualified.
That's so true.
Just so true. It's so true. But anyway, with that, guys, like I don't know if you have any last closing remarks, but we're running past an hour here, so.
Well, that's the Swiss model. So I'm a little intrigued by the Swiss model right now. Get rid of the safety net. Nobody deserves a safety net. Earn it. You think you're the best and you have the best legacy? Earn it. It shouldn't be hard then. Screw it. But I like the Swiss model for a couple of reasons. The Swiss model, it makes it so the algorithm, the way you get matched against players or other players and other teams, it's more or less where you are in the pecking order with coefficient. So ideally, if you're in the bottom of the pecking order and you win a couple, you start playing harder teams. But you're going to play the teams that are near you and then you play more difficult or less difficult teams depending on where you're seated. This plays into what everybody wants. It gives the smaller teams a fairer chance at progressing, but it also gives the people that want more money and the people worried about the revenue pools, what they want, because more of the better teams are playing against each other. And guess what? You don't play the same people twice. You're going to play 10 games against 10 different teams. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that I don't have to play Bayern Munich twice. I like that I don't have to play Barcelona twice. It's great.
I think it would be so fun.
There's been an adjustment on how they are going to award the 4 extra spots, because remember, it's 36, not 32 teams. So here's exactly what they said. The first extra slot is going to the club ranked 3rd in the table of the association that is 5th in the association rankings. So, for example, that means the 3rd place team from the currently 5th league, which is France, would get into Champions League. So that would be like Monaco right now. The second extra slot goes to a domestic champion after expanding the champions path from 4 clubs to 5. The 3rd and 4th slots go to the 2 clubs with the highest club coefficients that have not qualified automatically for the UCL group stage. This is the safety net that everyone wants to get rid of, because basically I think the clubs with the highest coefficients right now are Real Madrid and I can pull it up, but that's what everyone's pissed about.
This is wild to me, right? Like, let's say, like, I'm trying to think of a team that has a great like, historically, Manchester United, like, let's say Manchester United finished in 10th place. Do they get into the Champions League because of their coefficient? Or do they need to be in at, like, 6th place and just missed it? Like, how does that work? Do you know?
So, I mean, there's stuff that they still have to clear up a little bit.
I think this shit's about to fly. Like, I don't think this is going to fly.
No,
I think
it's not going to. That safety net, they're going to get rid of it. Okay, so here you go. The right now,
especially now that they pulled this shit of, like, they threw this safety net in for dog shit teams like Arsenal and Tottenham who can't qualify, like, from the league. So now they threw the safety net. Now that those teams tried to just pull a freaking coup d'etat, they're gonna feel free to get rid of it, you know.
The winner of the Conference League gets immediate qualification into the group stage for Europa League.
It's so sad.
So the club, basically the safety net, we said. Let me pull it back up.
I agree with Hristo, who said which leagues coefficient spot get an automatic spot. I'd expand that over safety net. Yeah, so you would expand that. I think it would be Switzerland, maybe. Hristo, I really don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe Turkey and Switzerland, the 2 teams who would get it if automatically. I don't remember.
There seems to be some confusion here, so I'm going to reread this again. The 3rd and 4th slots go to the 2 clubs with the highest club coefficients that have not qualified automatically for the UCL stage, but have qualified either for the qualifying stage of Europa League or Europa Conference League. So that essentially means that the best performing teams number-wise that didn't get into, like, the Champions League stage, but they did qualify for Europe, get bumped into that phase. So if Arsenal doesn't make any European competition, they can't just get safety netted into there. They did change it, but I hope they just get rid of it. So let's go through and we can kind of figure this out for ourselves, what this means. So right now, the teams with the top coefficient, number 1 is Bayern Munich, number 2 is Real Madrid. Now, they have both already, as of right now in this season, qualified for Champions League. So they wouldn't benefit from that. Barcelona 3rd, they've already qualified, doesn't benefit them. Manchester City, probably qualifying as it stands right now. Don't need it. Juventus. Now Juventus in the
they're sitting in 4th place. They're
so right now they make it. So this wouldn't apply to them. Atletico Madrid, currently winning La Liga, doesn't apply to them. PSG. PSG's in 2nd right now, I believe, correct? Behind Lille, but they still get it. They're going into Champions League, so doesn't apply to them. Man U.
They're in 2nd place.
2nd place. Doesn't apply to them. Liverpool. So this is where it gets interesting.
This is where it comes in. Yeah.
So Liverpool, as it stands, if the league ended today, would not be in any European competition. But because of that safety net, they would automatically qualify because they're the highest the club with the highest coefficient that didn't, or sorry, no. Liverpool hasn't qualified for any European competition. They don't go in because you have to qualify for at least a European competition to get put in.
So
they wouldn't get
even
in.
if you qualify for but Conference League, like let's say you get like sixth,
yes,
whatever place.
Whatever, yeah, exactly. Then you can go in, but you have to qualify for a European competition.
Is Europa League?
Yes.
Is Europa League also changing along with this, like to fit into these lines? Like, what happens to Europa League qualification format? Is Europa League going to stay the same as the old format?
Yeah. They haven't changed it yet.
It's weird though, right? You would think the competitions follow each other, right? So like Europa League would follow the model of the new Champions League, and it would be similar 10 games.
But it's usually delayed. They have a tendency to like delay it. Yeah. Now next is Sevilla. So Sevilla's in fourth. They're already making it to Champions League. Arsenal. As it stands, Arsenal's not in European competition. So they wouldn't get in either because you have to qualify for a European competition in order to benefit from the new safety net.
You want to know a team Chelsea. That will? Is Roma. Roma, my friends are Roma. They're in sixth place, I think, right now.
Yep.
And they're looking at Conference League. I would assume they have a decent coefficient. They're in the semifinal
They're
of the Europa League.
So we're on Chelsea next. And Chelsea right now is... I believe they're top four.
They're top four, yeah.
So they already get Champions League. Borussia Dortmund. Double check.
Borussia Dortmund's in like sixth or seventh place as well, so this could be one as well.
So they would get the safety net. They would be the first one to get the safety net as of right now. Tottenham Hotspur.
They're close as well to getting...
Let me check where they're in the table. But if they would be the second one to benefit from... the safety net. Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur is currently sixth. So they right now have a Europa League spot. So they would be the second team right now to benefit from that safety net.
Just a broken system.
The safety net shouldn't be there. You have to be good enough. So I have a feeling they're going to get rid of it because people, look, you saw the outcry and people now are been catching on. Plenty of people we're seeing on social media are catching on. And it's so screwy. It's so screwy. It's so stupid. So I hope they get rid of it. But I hope they just give more spaces to other teams down the line because that's how it should be. If you're going to expand it, make it so more teams can enter, more teams from the smaller leagues. That's the best way to do it. But besides that, I kind of like the Swiss model because more games, more money for smaller teams. And I think that'll be better.
It makes the group stage better, to be honest with you. It does make it better. It does. We get to see more fun teams in Europe. We get to travel more. And like for a team like us with a league as shit as we have, like more games in Europe we're never gonna say no at this point. So yeah, definitely. And with that, guys, I think we're going to close up. It's almost 12:45 tonight here, Central European time here in Switzerland. If you've been listening live, thank you so much. We didn't have huge numbers, but we had a few faithful listening. It was a bit of a surprise. We weren't sure if we were going to go live or not. So thank you guys for following along live. If you've been listening on podcasts, please make sure to drop a review down in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. And on YouTube, guys, this YouTube channel we've got is growing pretty big. Please subscribe, like, comment. It helps grow the channel, helps connect other Olympiakos fans around the world, which is our mission. And make sure to keep reading blogs on the website. Peter Thompson gave you his first blog today. Couldn't make it today for technical difficulties. Fetanos, good night, my friends. Yeah, deadlines. It's a bit midterm season. Last week was a bit tough for me as well. Anyway, guys, with that, we'll talk to you guys next time and have a good night. Have a good day. I don't know when you're listening. Anyway, ciao, boys.
You just listened to an episode of the Gate 7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiakos fans from Brussels to Tokyo, from Toronto to Geneva. We are 4 Olympiakos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you'll never miss out on the latest updates and stories of the team you love. If you liked what you heard, make sure to follow us on social media at Gate7INTL, give us a subscribe on YouTube, or even leave a review on all our podcast channels. Until next time, this is our team, our city and our story. Thrylos είσαι. Στο μυαλό κάτι μαγικό.